The 2005 French Open presented by Genworth Financial starts 5 a.m. Monday.
Defending champion Johnny Petraglia has won in each of the past 4 decades. Tonight, he has to win only 1 game to become the 3rd player to win in 5. For the 10th consecutive year, the PBA Senior Tour makes a stop here at Woodside Lanes in Naples, Florida. It's the Columbia 300 Senior Open. Hi, everyone. I'm Phil Ferguson, and the other players that I mentioned at the top of the show, besides Johnny Petraglia, having a shot at winning in 5 decades, Dave Soutar and the great Dick Weber. My broadcast partner may not win in 5 decades, but he's certainly a stellar performer. PBA Hall of Famer Marshall Holman and Marshall. Johnny Petraglia nearly lapped this field.
Well, he certainly did, and I like Johnny's chances of winning for a couple of reasons. Number one, as a tournament leader, he is definitely going to be in that final match. And another thing is he led the tournament by 454 pins. Certainly the hot player coming into this championship round, going for that win in 5 decades. I sure like his chances.
So maybe we ought to just give him the trophy right now.
You know, if we do that, do we still get paid?
Good question. Maybe we ought to bowl.
I think we probably should. There are other players who really think they've got a chance at Petraglia, and 3 relatively unknown players. Barry Gurney with 4 senior titles. Mel Wolfe has 1, and Michael Henry making his first telecast ever on the senior tour. They think they still have a chance to take him. But the man I believe is the one to look out for is definitely Gary Dickinson, a former senior PBA Player of the Year. He knows how to win out here. He's the only right-hander. That could be a big edge for Gary this evening. We'll just have to wait and see.
We are set now for the 4-player shootout. This is always exciting.
Well, it is, and a lot of pressure. Only 1 player makes it to that championship match. 3 left-handers, 1 right-hander.
So we'll get a look here at Michael Henry, Brunswick, Ohio. First televised appearance. Got to be a little bit nervous.
Well, I should certainly think so.
Great opening shot.
That's got to help steady the nerves quite a bit. Michael gets up there, just makes a great shot, throws it right in the 1-2 pocket. Now, Barry Gurney, you see with 4 senior titles. 1 here back in '94. He leaves the 3, the 5, and the 6. Difficult spare.
A lefty here in the opening match. Mel Wolfe won senior championship. Finished.
With a good spare conversion. Difficult spare, lots of ways to miss it, but he converts. Now Mel Wolfe. He'll go hard and straight to pick up the 7-pin.
Oh, just does get it.
Oh, no problem. Had it all the way, didn't you, Mel?
Now Gary Dickinson, PBA Hall of Famer, inducted in the Hall in 1988. Smooth stroking Gary Dickinson.
Great shot from Gary, and it wasn't until just now that I wasn't sure if he was going to play the inside trajectory or the outside. He's opted to go a little further in the lane.
Gurney in the 2nd frame. Grounded out, comes back. Beautiful shot.
Now Gurney was working on a spare, so it'll be a spare and a strike the first 2 frames for Gurney.
Henry once again from Brunswick, another great performer, Dick Hoover from that area.
This is for the lead, working on a strike. Comes in just a little high and leaves the 6 and the 10.
Dickinson, Edmond, Oklahoma. The lone righty on today's telecast. Trying to make it a double.
10-pin not responding. You know, I never laughed that much when I left 10 pins. Gary's having more fun than I ever did.
Trying to pick up the spare here in the 2nd frame.
Should be an easy spare. Well, he made it a little more dramatic than he would have liked to, but picks up the 6-10. Now Dickinson, always known to be a very good spare shooter.
Hasn't won in a couple of years on tour as he picks up the 10 pin.
Well, Mel Wolf going for a strike here in the second frame. If he strikes here, it'll be all even. Everybody with 20 in the first. Now he set that ball short. The ball never really got out down the lane as far as he wanted to. He leaves the 4 and the 7 pin. And he could tell as soon as he threw that ball, he knew it was a bad shot. Really fortunate not to leave a big split.
An exciting final match game today that he won to advance to the championship finals. Picks up the spare.
And he trails by 2 pins.
So right now, after 2 frames, Gary Dickinson, Barry Gurney, Mike Henry in the lead, and Mel Wolf just 2 pins back. Henry steps up in the 3rd frame, and again, he told me earlier he's just going to have to keep his emotions in check. First time out there, television lights.
Well, it's hard to know how you're going to respond, but boy, he makes a wonderful shot in the 3rd frame. The 4 pin goes around the bottom of that 7, ringing 7 pin.
Gurney, now up in the 3rd frame, wasn't quite sure he was going to make the trip. He lives in West Hills, California. At the last minute, decided to come here. He's cashed in 4 events this year, just the 7 pin standing.
Well, a different kind of a 7 pin. That's the half 7. 4 pin lays in the channel, doesn't bounce back up to get it. You can see Henry going with a different ball, hard and straight, and a nice cover.
Well, for Henry, first appearance with a strike and 2 spares. Gurney trying to pick up the 7 pin.
Also using a ball that doesn't hook as much. That's a good tip for for all players. Makes the spares a lot easier to make when you go to the harder surface ball. Doesn't have as much friction. You can go straight. Don't need a lot of power for spares.
No, he's had a pretty good year. Cashed in 8 of 9 events here in 2000.
Solid shot for Wolf on lane 23. His first strike of the match.
Dickinson in the 3rd frame. You had mentioned you weren't quite sure if he was going to play outside or inside. That's got to be tough on a player right before the telecast.
A lot of decisions to be made. Certainly made the right one on lane 24. Hasn't yet to strike on 23, but
so Gurney and Gary Dickinson tied after 3 frames. Henry just a pin back. Wolf just 2 back. Michael Henry now up in the 4th frame. As you can see, Marshall very tight.
Well, it is. And for Michael Henry, he's gotten off to a pretty good start. Calm the nerves. Better projection. Well, he came in high the last time on 24, made the adjustment. Now he leaves difficult double wood spare. He's got the 3 and the 9.
Gurney 14 and 10 in match play this week in the 4th frame.
Gurney, a smooth stroker that gets pretty good revolutions on the ball. You see, Gurney hooks the ball probably as much as any of the left-handers that are bowling right now. And next match, Petraglia, he really likes to hook it. You see Henry's match play, 15, 8 and 1. That'll get it done.
Always staring at those pins.
Difficult spare. Well done.
Boy, he has done very well. First appearance on television. Dickinson now up in the 4th frame. Needs a double to take over the lead. And just the 4 pin.
And there's the adjustment. He left the 10 pin last time on 23. Tried to fit it in just a little bit tighter. Came in a little high. And it's a 4 pin. Lane condition this week was run to 36 feet, then buffed down to 42. Of a short oil condition.
Wolf in the 4th looking for a double.
And look at that. There's a friendly roll of the pins. The 7, excuse me, the 9 and the 10, the very last 2 to fall over.
Wolf now leads by 8.
Dickinson makes the spare. See if Gurney can respond. He has a strike up in the 4th frame. He can take a 2-pin lead if he strikes here in the 5th.
Gurney, 211 average this year. This week, a little bit better at 218 plus.
Wonderful shot from Gurney. Gets the ball down early and lets it get into a good heavy roll. Drives right through the 1-2 pocket and 10 in the pit. Great shot.
Michael Henry with that 218 plus average this week, far better than the yearly average. Didn't start bowling until the age of 24. Got in a company league. And in fact, he has bowled some national tour stops. Has never cashed on the national tour. Comes out on the senior tour, 6th event as a rookie this year, and here he is on the telecast. Dickinson up now in the 5th. Working on a spare.
Now didn't get the proper rotation on the ball. Got it out probably about a board further right than he wanted to, and wasn't able to drive the ball back. A little slower speed. It might have caught the dry and come back into the pocket, but not to be. It's Mel Wolf trying for 3 in a row. Well, something must have disrupted Wolf's concentration. Dickinson will oblige and shoot it a spare.
Wolf distracted just a bit. He needs a strike here to take the lead.
He likes it. Oh, 7-pin. It was hit, but it wasn't hit hard enough, Phil.
Gold pin's just a bit heavier.
Yeah, these are 3-pound, 10-ounce pins, and they are a little tougher to knock down than the regular 3/6s that the bowlers competed against earlier in the week.
Fifth frame. Looked like he stuck a bit, Marshall.
You know, the players were having a little bit of a problem throughout the week with the approaches. They were a little sticky in places, but our finalists made their way through. Didn't seem to have too much trouble.
Beautiful weather all week here in Naples, if you like it hot and sunny. And as we take a look at the score.
Well, Barry Gurney is up by 3 pins right now.
Gurney working on a double. Practices a lot, about 3 hours a day, with that high game at 267 this week. Low game not too bad, 177.
It looked to be pulled.
Yeah, you called it.
Well, you know, it's easy to see right off the hand. The ball was right at the target. It goes through the nose, at least just the 2 and the 4, so a relatively easy spare.
We'll listen in now. Mike Henry is mic'd.
I don't think he had much to say about that. He would have loved to have seen that crossover strike, but it didn't happen. Will that ball hook?
Oh,
I wasn't sure.
was there a doubt?
But Barry Gurney wasn't sure either, even though he appears to be nonchalant about it, but he had much concern.
Great crowds all this week here, Woodside Lanes. Once again, the 10th year of the senior tour. Coming here.
Well, Henry makes the spare, but he's going to have to figure out lane 24 if he hopes to have any chance to win this game. I don't think under 200 is going to get it done.
6th frame for Gary Dickinson, working on a spare. Very tight here midway through this opening match.
Looking for his first strike on the left-hand lane, lane 23, and it's another 4-pin. You know, Gary's very close, but not quite able to get them all down.
So Mel Wolf now up in the 6th frame.
Down by 1. And now he's got problems as he leaves the 6, the 7, and the 10. He pays the full penalty for coming in high that frame.
Dickinson picks up the spare. So Marshall, a big split. Got to go for it.
As you can see, this is Mel Wolf's first shot. The ball goes through the heart. Leaves a 6, a 7, and 10, and I think it is a position where he needs to try and make it. Well, didn't hook over far enough.
So Barry Gurney, looking for his 5th senior championship, leads by 1. Back with more in a minute. The city of Naples is just 5 miles from the Florida Everglades. The wildlife and natural habitat just received a $7.8 billion grant to restore its ecological balance. Oh, that is beautiful, Marshall. Were you on that? No.
I would have liked to a bit, but no, I've never been on one of those boats. It looks like just a blast.
We go now to the 7th frame, and there you see the score. I mentioned before the break it was up by 1, but it is a 10-point advantage now. Barry Gurney out in front.
And Mike Henry still well into this match, but my gosh, that's going to be very difficult. He leaves the what I like to call the bucket with the man in motion. A 5-pin spare. Gurney's going high again. That time it really looked like he got to his target, Phil, but this ball speed seemed to be a little bit less. And also, there are all the left-handers out there. The lanes could be breaking down.
Michael Henry with a 290 high game this week. Just won 300 this week by Bill Glass.
And a huge conversion here. Oh. Well, I'll tell you, he's happy to have that out of the way because that is a very, very difficult spare. Keeps him in the match. Down by 14. Gurney pulled that, but he got away with it. Makes the spare. His lead is down to 8.
All right, here we go. Come on. New game.
So Mel Wolf, I gave him 286. Up in the 7th frame. He's down by 13.
Come on.
Wolf shaking off that split he had the previous frame. Now Dickinson, he's making a lot of good shots, but he only has 2 strikes so far in the first 6 frames.
He's kept it clean. That's important. 7th frame.
He likes that one. It's coming in high again, though. Another 4-pin.
Dickinson has been bothered by a strained neck, and it kind of bothers him at the bottom of his swing, he told me. Gurney with a strike. So Barry Gurney in the 8th frame still leads.
Gary Dickinson, his first shot. You can see the ball drifting in high. Fortunately, the 10-pin falls. The 7 goes down, and now he takes care of the 4-pin for the 3rd time in this match.
Gurney just up by 9 over Dickinson, but really Henry and Wolf in it, Marshall.
Well, they are, but gosh, I don't believe Henry has struck on this right-hand lane the entire game.
That's been 222 for Henry. Should he strike out? Needs to get something going.
Now there's his first strike in the right-hand lane. Now he needs to go back on lane 23 and refigure that one out.
Well, the lanes change quickly.
Well, they do, especially with, just one right-hander out there, but 3 lefties. That's how you change very fast. That won't get there. He's got what I like to call the highlight reel going. He's high on one lane, light on the other, and he's making a lot of spares, but 190 is not going to do it.
Mel Wolf in the 8th frame working on a strike.
This to get within 3 pins. And with some authority, too.
Pretty shot. Dickinson has picked up a lot of spares. Converts once again.
Now Gurney can really put all the pressure on the other players right here. If he strikes here in the 9th frame, he cannot be shut out. Came in high last time on this lane. Oh, not that time. Right in the 1-2 pocket, all the pins respond.
So Barry Gurney sets it up in the 10th. He's working on a double. Leads by 13.
You can see the maximum score for Mike Henry of 222. Barry Gurney working at a 216 pace right now.
Come on. Oh, man.
7-pin does not respond. Now His max score, you can see that Gary Dickinson's max score is 216. That's if he strikes the rest of the game out. If he would go strike spare all the way out, that's 196. That's the pace he's bowling at right now.
Boy, he went outside, Marshall, and left a 10 pin, so he's been moving around.
Yeah, he made the adjustment to try and get better carry. Was leaving 4 pins, now he leaves a 10 pin, and for Gary Dickinson, time is running out.
Mike Henry, though, first appearance in television, he has not had an open. He's bowled very well.
But it looks to be boiling down to a match between Barry Gurney and Mel Wolfe. In fact, the only open we've had the entire match was Wolfe in the 6th frame when he left the 6-7-10.
So Mel Wolfe up in the 9th frame. Can cut into that lead once again down to 3 should he strike.
A huge shot for Wolfe. He takes care of it. He's down by 3 pins. Wolfe can shoot 233. Gurney can shoot 236.
Well,
Gurney will finish first.
Gurney, should he strike out, once again, 236. He's up in the 10th frame.
Gurney up by 3 pins. Strike here to take him back up to 13-pin lead and a chance to shut out Wolfe. Oh, and he trips the 4-pin. A very fortuitous strike for Barry Gurney.
The best that Mike Henry can do, 202, will not be enough.
Now Gurney already in the at a 220 pace. But as you said earlier, Henry's got to feel pretty darn good about his performance, making it to the telecast and really bowling a very credible game. Not enough to win, but should feel good about his effort. A strike and 8 pins. Gurney shuts out Mel Wolfe.
Here's the strike.
Believe me, he knows exactly what he needs. He's looking over the scores right now to double check. Nothing Mel Wolfe can do except hope he gets 8 or less. Or 7, I mean.
Me too.
Henry, another nice shot in the 10th frame. What was your first game on television to score?
Well, you know, Phil, I'm so happy you brought that up. It was 149. Thank you.
Okay.
I'd almost forgotten.
8 pins he needs.
And he gets 6 pins, and Mel Wolfe will have a chance not just to tie, but a chance to win. 232 for Gurney. Wolfe with a possible 233.
Wow.
Well, you know, Gurney was careful with that last shot. You can't aim. You have to trust your swing.
232 for Gurney.
But I tell you, I have been in that position that Wolfe was in right now. He had to feel like he was going to be shut out and have no chance to get up. Now he should be rejuvenated.
So Wolfe will be stepping up. It's first Gary Dickinson, who will go to the 10th frame. Leaves just the 7 pin, but for Wolfe, the former optometrist, eyeing a chance at the championship here against Johnny Petraglia, but he needs to strike out to win this match by 1 pin.
Stop hooking through the nose, and it's Barry Gurney sitting down.
He's got to feel a bit fortunate.
Well, he got away with one. He made a very poor shot on the fill ball, but Mel Wolfe wasn't able to come through in the 10th frame, and it's going to be Gurney bowling against Johnny Petraglia for the title.
Solid game for Gurney, 232. Mike Henry finished with a 201. Mel Wolfe will finish out his game along with Gary Dickinson. But it will be Barry Gurney who advances to the championship match against defending champion here at Woodside Lanes in Naples, Johnny Petraglia. Part of the charm of Naples is the variety of shopping and culinary experiences, mixing the old with the new. Now let's take a look at some other finishers here in the Columbia PBA Senior Open. 8-time national tour titleist, also owns 26 regional titles. Guppy Troop finishing 10th.
And Bob Chamberlain, the winner of the 1984 PBA National Championship, having a pretty good week at number 14.
Take a look at some of the other players. Number 20, John Handegaard, the Senior Tour's all-time earnings and titles leader. Another good week.
And straight from the National Tour, Ron Morton competing in his first senior event. He's one to look for. I'm telling you, he'll be good.
Well, where are our future stars coming from? There you go. Jillian Mary Curtis Orr, granddaughter, tournament director Sandy Curtis. There she is, born September 21st. 7 pounds 3 ounces. Everyone's doing fine, including grandma. All right. PBA Senior Tour, the Brunswick Senior National Championship coming up October 25th. Always another great stop, Airport Lanes in Jackson, Michigan.
We'll take a look at the final scores. You can see that Mel Wolf with the 208, he finishes third. Michael Henry with a nice finish, 201, he's fourth. And Gary Dickinson, the lone righty on the telecast, he's fourth.
And our championship match coming up, Barry Gurney going up against defending champion Johnny Petraglia.
You beat up the wrong guy.
Sunday, the #1 show in America.
I know what you did to her.
Will end with the biggest finale of the season. Not everyone will survive. On an all-new Desperate Housewives, Sunday 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
You can't win!
All this May on ESPN Classic. Sundays are getting real rocky. And Sunday.
And we are set now for the championship match of the Columbia 300 Senior Open. We're at Woodside Lanes, Naples, Florida. Phil Ferguson, along with my broadcast partner Marshall Holman. And Marshall Holman, Barry Gurney, 232, survived that opening shootout against Johnny Petraglia.
Yeah, and Gurney has momentum going on his side. We'll see if he can take him all the way to the championship. Leaves the 7-pin. Quality shot to start the match out. And you know, generally when you've been sitting for a while waiting for the next match to start, you have a tendency to get a little slow. It did not happen with Gurney. Good projection, good ball speed. Just didn't quite get the 7 to fall. And a nice spare. Now our first look at the PBA Hall of Famer, Johnny Petraglia.
14 national titles, 3 senior championships, led this by over 400 pins, and this is the opening shot.
He's your defending champion here as well. Coming in light, leaving the 3-pin.
Really swung it out there, Marshall. By over 400 pins. Have you ever led a tournament by that many? How'd you do?
Well, I have. I did it. In fact, I did it back-to-back weeks some years ago, and you know, you almost feel like you deserve to win, but Johnny cannot have that mindset. I lost both of those championships, even though I led by over 1,000 pins for the 2 weeks.
Still got a bowl. Final game as Petraglia picks up the spare. We're all tied after 1.
And you know, Johnny's putting a little more heat on himself because he knows that he's going to win sometime in this decade, but he really wants to take care of business right now, get it out of the way, and then you know, be able to go on from there.
Yeah, he told me before the show, I mean, he'd certainly like to join Dave Sutar and Dick Weber to win tournaments in 5 different decades, but he wants to do it in 6, and he feels, you know, he'll just be in his early 60s and has a good shot at doing that. So one step at a time.
I wouldn't put it past him. Well, you can see the great knee bend of Johnny Petraglia. That's an asset that he's had throughout his career, and you know, now at 53 years old, still very athletic. Marvelous player.
Gurney's last win, 99 in Boise. Second frame. Trying to tie up the match. Should he strike?
And a carbon copy of the first frame as it leaves a soft 7 once again. Gurney's best finish of the year is a 10th, and earlier this year in Brentwood, California.
He likes this house. He won here in '94, defeating Gary Dickinson and Richard Beatty. The all-time senior mark for best match game record. In '96, he was 21-3 in match play. He loves this house.
And there we have Mrs. Gurney, Joan, watching, and well, you know, all she could do is just think good thoughts and hope that Barry can get the job done. It's tough. It's tough watching.
Tough in that seat. Gurney up in the third frame. 2 spares. Petraglia started off this championship match with a spare and strike.
Needs to get the ball rolling a little earlier. Ball's coming in late into the pocket. Unable to knock the 7 out. Well, he tried to jam that into the pocket, and fortunate, just leaving the 6 and the 10. Relatively easy spare.
When you make adjustments on the lanes, move with your feet.
Well, you can move. There's all sorts of adjustments that can be made. You can move with your feet. You can move on the lane itself. You can take your eyes and move them over a board or two to try and open the lane more up, or to close it down and go straighter with the ball. Pros have to keep making those adjustments. Gurney picks up the spare without any problem, and it's the bowler that knows his game and knows how to make those small adjustments. He's the one that usually walks away with the victory.
Petraglia up by 3 in the third frame. He's bowled in 6 events this year. Gashed in all 6. The 98 Senior Rookie of the Year.
3-pin lead, looking to take it to 13. But he's stuck a little at the line. Boy, he stuck that ball right in the 1-2 pocket flush. There's a 13-pin lead. You can see just stuck just a little bit, but ball's projected down the lane nicely. Hard charging into the 1-2 pocket. But the pros we like to see all the pins leave at once. I mean, we'll take them any way we can get them, but like to see them leave all at once like that. Petraglia now with a 13-pin lead, looking to take it to 23.
A little bit humid down here to cause a player to maybe stick a little bit.
Well, certainly that's a very good possibility that the humidity could make it a little tough for the slide.
Fourth frame.
3 in a row for Johnny Petraglia, 23-pin lead. Now Johnny Petraglia, the classic style, sticking that follow through. He gets the strike. He leads by 23.
Oh yeah, whether it's sun and surf, fishing with Dad, or perhaps taking a stroll, the Naples Pier has it all for you. Boy, that's just beautiful.
Well, it's a gorgeous part of the country, and a lot more than just strolling available here.
And Johnny Petraglia beginning to strut. 3 in a row. Gurney has to start striking. Fourth frame.
That's high. Didn't project the ball down the lane. Sort of short stroked it. Didn't really get the follow through down the lane. The ball grabs early. And now Gurney, who was really in good condition throughout the last match, now finds himself struggling. And your opposition can do that to you. You know, Johnny goes bang, 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 and Gurney all of a sudden can't find the pocket. For the 2-4, converts.
4 straight spares for Gurney to start this championship match. The PBA's website address has changed. Now you can get all the latest information about the PBA, check out updated player bios, and participate in the PBA chat room. All this and more at PBA.com. Check it out.
You know, I looked at it earlier today, and it's a new look, and it's a lot of fun. Petraglia 25 pins up. Gurney without a strike here in the 5th frame.
There's one. And I was going to say, Gurney has kept himself at least in the match with the 4 spares, and now he has a strike. Maybe he's found something.
Well, better shot from Gurney, much better balance. Ball driving into the 1-2 pocket. And the reaction, that's what I've been trying to do.
Petraglia, spare 3-bagger up in the 5th frame.
Petraglia, you know, he really did run away from all of his competitors this week, and so difficult to take that momentum and keep it going when you've been standing there watching the other guys bowl in the first match. But Johnny, with a 17-7 match play record, not missing a beat.
Midway through this championship match, Petraglia up by 35. One of only 4 men to win the Triple Crown. That's the Tournament of Champions, the U.S. Open, and PBA National Championship.
For 5 in a row, he's running it out. He loved it.
Oh, Johnny Petraglia, red hot.
Now a 45-pin lead. Great shot from Petraglia down the lane. It's hooking from about the 5 board. As soon as he threw that ball, he started moving. Here he goes. He's just waiting to see if all 10 fall down. He knew it was in the pocket. A must strike. Not only doesn't he strike, but leaves the 6 and the 8. Really a pretty darn good shot for Gurney. Ball just a little bit high, but could have easily tripped out, even struck on that ball.
You can make this split.
Yes, he can, and he certainly has to try and make it. Needs to get the ball to the right-hand side of the 6-pin, drive it into the 8. With Petraglia with 5 strikes in a row, he really desperately needs this. So close, just hooks by it, just by a little bit. Well, the crowd appreciates the effort. And Gurney, who wasn't even going to make the trip,
Last minute decided to.
Yeah, looking more and more like he's destined to be second right now, but still frames to play. A little bit of a disturbance to Gurney's right, but gets his concentration back.
Well, that open in the 6th for Gurney has pretty much opened the way for Petraglia.
Gurney, 221's the best he could do. Make that 211. Right now, Johnny Petraglia working at a 239 pace.
I'm sure you've been in this position before, Marshall, leading by, you know, 50, 60 pins.
Not often enough, Phil.
So a comfortable feeling, but 4 frames to go for Johnny.
Well, you know, Johnny wants to wrap this up as soon as possible. I'd like to see it a little closer, but Johnny's definitely having some fun. Right now, Gurney makes the spare, but it's Petraglia up by 59 pins as he goes for a championship in a 5th consecutive decade.
Well, the PBA Tour, National Tour Flagship Open, October 24th at Eastway Lanes in Erie. Boy, great crowds in Erie. They get excited.
Erie's a great place for the Professional Bowlers Tour. I've been going there for many years. It's an exciting place to bowl.
Petraglia, 5 in a row after that spare to start this match.
That was left off, excuse me, right off his hand, but yeah, everything going Johnny's way right now. You know, a lot of times, you know, he's sitting a little bit. He's got the match well in hand. Maybe a little loss of concentration. Goes right through the nose, leaves nothing but the 7-pin, and 58 pins of comfortable lead. Now, we talked to Johnny earlier about winning in 5 consecutive decades, and this is what he had to say.
It's really important to me because I've always, from early on in my career, felt that longevity was very important in one's career. And then the other thing is, anytime your name is in some kind of synonymous saying with Dick Weber and Sutar, you got to be really excited about that and happy. Especially Weber, who's always been my idol. So I'd love to join him and be someplace where my idol is.
8th frame for Petraglia, 7-pin. Johnny won here last year. Defeated Chuck Pierce, our statistician, 245 to 179. But Chuck had a 260 plus game, I think, to get there. So
Petraglia for the spare. Every shot gets him that much closer to the win. Gurney, best that he can do is 211. Petraglia right now can strike spare out for 238.
right there, Gurney with a strike in the 9th frame. And again, you touched on it. You lead by that many pins, you almost deserve the championship. But times it doesn't work out that way.
More times than not, when you lead by that many pins, you know, sometimes the fate jumps up and kind of stabs you in the back, and you end up with a second place finish. But boy, to Johnny's credit, he's took control of this match early. 57-pin lead. Gurney must strike here in the 9th, and then he'll need some help from Petraglia to have any chance in the 10th frame.
Best 211. Gurney in the 9th frame. And a double.
Well, it's still mathematically possible, but
highly improbable.
Highly improbable. I believe with the mark here in the 9th frame, Johnny can just cruise on in.
And the last, let me think, Marshall, let me ask you this one. The last, Johnny Petraglia, the 9th gets a strike. Last senior player to successfully defend his championship. Let me throw that one out there.
Well, let's see if I can go back into my memory banks that it was another lefty and another classic lefty, Dave Davis.
I know
he defended his title at the 1996 ABC Senior Masters in Akron, Ohio.
I believe you. I think you're right.
Well, you can trust me on this one.
Petraglia now in the 10th. And Johnny's going to do it. What an impressive week.
Well, he should be very proud of himself, and I know he is. You know, he leads by 454 pins, but when he bowls the last match against Barry Gurney, those pins are all gone. Everything is just heads up and even. But Petraglia took it to him.
For Petraglia, it'll be his 4th senior championship to go along with 14 national titles.
And he'll be in the 250s.
Now he can think about winning in 6 decades. It's going to take a while.
Apparently, he already was thinking about it. He's planning ahead.
Well, he has certainly stormed through this field. Speaking of storms, I believe this a couple of years ago, Hurricane George, I think, cut this tournament short. The only time in PBA history. After 27 games, Pete Couture the winner. But we're going to finish it out this year. Johnny Petraglia, 258, Marshall.
A great game. $12,000 will be the first place money for Johnny Petraglia, and enjoy it, Johnny. Another great win. And a good finish for Barry Gurney, $6,500, and he's got to be happy he made the trip across the country.
Boy, he found something late, Marshall.
Yeah, he did, but you know, right now he's bowling for credibility. Doing a good job of it.
Gurney can fire 211, but of course Johnny Petraglia picking up another title. Gurney, second shot here in the 10th. And another one. Johnny Petraglia, winner of the 2000 Columbia 300 PBA Senior Open with a big 258. Whenever you're near the water, you want to be on the water. There's plenty of places to do that in and around Naples. Naples a winner. Johnny Petraglia certainly a winner. 258 to 211 in the championship match of the Columbia 300 Senior Open over Barry Gurney. All right, time now to hand out the awards to Johnny. And Johnny, it's your 4th senior championship. I know this means a lot to you. We'll talk to you in a minute. First of all, Roger Vessel from Columbia, Vice President of Marketing. And boy, beautiful trophy, Roger.
Johnny, congratulations on a great week of bowling. Outstanding TV finals here tonight. On behalf of Columbia 300, I'd like to present to you the 2000 Columbia 300 Championship Trophy. Congratulations, Johnny.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you very much. This is wow. You know, last year I won, and there was like 3 Dolphins on it. Now we got 7, and they said next year there'll be 12 that they're going to put on. This is beautiful. Thank you very much. I want to thank Columbia for sponsoring the tournament and for a great week.
Let's talk about the week a little bit. It has been a fabulous week, but it has been a nice run here at beautiful Woodside Lanes. Pat Sinello, the proprietor. 10 years we've been coming here. You have a nice check for Johnny.
Johnny, I'd like to present you with this check. 10 years. Thank you. Our first dual winner. We love having you here, Johnny. Keep it going. So we've got 2 out of the 4 champions here in Naples. Thanks.
Well, thank you, Pat. It's 4 years I've been coming here, it's been great to me every year. Maybe it's because my family comes from the original Naples. I'm not really sure. But we're always, you and your whole staff, Mary McDonald and your wife Lisa, you treat us so great here. I love coming here. It's a wonderful place to defend and to win in my 5th decade. I really, really appreciate everything.
And Johnny, I know this means a lot to you, the 5th decade. Let's hear what you have to say.
It does mean a lot. It means it's a longevity thing. It sort of builds as the years go by. Well, I've accomplished this, so now I would like to accomplish that, and so it starts preying on your mind. And as soon as we turned into 2000, it does get on your mind. So I'm really happy to get it out of the way, I guess, in a sense. And had a great shot on the TV pair. I was very fortunate. My company rep, Rick Benoit, said you're going to switch balls. You know, as we got right near airtime, he suggested I use that ball, and the ball worked great. So thanks a lot, Rick.
And you look more aggressive than I've seen you maybe in past telecasts. And I know from past experiences, leading a tournament by that many pins, it's not easy to come out and win on TV, but you were very positive throughout the whole game.
I'm always more aggressive when I'm the leader. I always have that feeling in my head. I was the leader. I don't want him to take it away from me. If I'm not the leader, I have to really get up for the title match. So I don't, even though I've won only a couple of times from another position, it still wasn't from an aggressive point of view like it is when I'm the leader. If I could think that way from other positions, I might have won more.
Now, is it true you're already thinking about winning in 6 decades?
Well, sure. I mean, you always have to have a goal. I'd be 63, and maybe, you know, maybe if Mark Roth and Marshall Holman at that time aren't bowling good that week, I could sneak one in. You never know.
Well, I appreciate that. Johnny, congratulations. I think you can do it at 63, and Phil, back up to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Marshall. Johnny Petraglia, the winner of the Columbia 300 Open, as he defeated Barry Gurney 258 to 211 in the championship match. Our next event, the Senior National Championship, Airport Lanes in Jackson, Michigan. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Log on to ESPN.com. For Marshall Holman, I'm Phil Ferguson. So long from Naples, Florida. Your winner once again, Johnny Petraglia.